So, my husband and I are $60,000 in debt. Okay. Part of the problem. You are.
I'm drowning in credit card debt. And I don't know what to do. If you're seeing this video, you probably are also drowning in credit card debt, and I wish I knew how to help you, but I don't, because I don't even know what to do for me.
I met a girl the other day with $300,000 in student loan debt. Not med school, not law school, just regular college. A degree, some bad advice, and a pile of private loans that no one really explained to her. She's in her 30s, renting a room, and feels like her future's already gone. And unfortunately, that's not rare. And our generation got sold the lie the hardest. Take out loans, get the degree, and everything will work out. Except now we're stuck with debt we can't pay off and jobs that don't cover the interest. Over 5.6 million people are already in default, and 9 million are about to be. And when that happens, your credit tanks, your wages get garnished, and your co-signer, probably your mom or dad, gets dragged down with you. And you can't bankrupt your way out. You're stuck. But
a lot of people are drowning in debt. And a lot of the times, it started when they were young. You know, people young, dumb, and broke, they would start off with a credit card debt and pile it up. And as soon as they hit their 20s, that's when things start to actually hit them, because these credit card debts don't play. They're actually real life, and they will come to get you in the long run. Because think about it, credit cards, free money, and if you're not financial literate, you will basically be drowned if nobody taught you how these credit cards work, and they're not free money. You have to pay them back. So a lot of people are in debt.
My life has officially gotten out of control, so let's talk about it so you feel better about yours. As of this morning, I have $186,056.76 worth of debt. That is almost $200,000 worth of debt. I know. Now that number by itself is just so large and so overwhelming that every time I look at it, I kind of just ignore it and I just move on with my day, and then I swipe my credit card and I buy something else, because I don't even know really what to do about it at this point. But I am nothing if not ambitious. And what my ambition is telling me this morning is that we're gonna fix this and we're gonna take care of this one way or another. Of that $186,000 of debt, I have $54,597.36 in credit card debt, just credit card debt. And that's what we're going to tackle first. I am giving myself 52 weeks starting November 1st to pay off all $54,500 worth of credit card debt. So November 1st, 2025 to November 1st or October 31st, 2026, I am going to pay off all let's round it and say all $55,000 worth of credit card debt. Now, is that even possible? I have no idea. That's a lot of money. I don't even know if I'm physically capable of doing that, but I'm going to spend the next year trying. I'm going to try every side hustle under the sun. I am going to throw as much money at it as I can, and I am going to get those credit cards down to zero if it is the last thing I do. My plan is to start on November 1st and to update weekly on how much I've made on side hustles, and then update monthly on where we are with our debt breakdown and paying off our credit cards. So if that sounds like your jam, or you just want to cheer me on from the sidelines, or you just need to feel better about yourself because there's no way you'd ever get in $186,000 worth of debt, give me a follow. We're gonna be on this journey together, and you can watch the highs and the lows, and no matter how good or bad it turns out, I'm gonna post it on the internet.
I'm drowning in credit card debt. And I don't know what to do. If you're seeing this video, you probably are also drowning in credit card debt, and I wish I knew how to help you, but I don't, because I don't even know what to do for me. So here's the story. I'm 30. I'm a stay-at-home mom of 2, and I have something called cystic fibrosis. And back in November of last year, I left my career, and I had been a working person ever since I could get a permit because my health was deteriorating, and my husband and I decided it was more important that I stay home with the kids and stop trying to work at the same time and consider my health first, because obviously, if you know what CF is, it already shortens my life expectancy, and my kids deserve for me to be here as long as possible. So we did that, and everything was okay because my husband worked really hard and he figured out a way to bridge the gap between the two incomes, and it was good until it wasn't. And then we started putting stuff on credit cards, and we couldn't pay those credit cards off like we were used to. And then a couple months ago, we regrouped, we figured some stuff out, and we found some extra money. We did some extra things to make some extra money, and we started putting that towards the debt. But then our escrow went up. It was severely deficient, so our mortgage payment went up by $400 a month and took all of that extra money that we had found. And now I don't have the opportunity to go work. I don't have the opportunity, because of my health, to do anything else other than just take care of my kids and myself right now. And come next year, my husband's gonna try to do more stuff on the side from his actual career to make money, but I am monetized on this app, so this can be a job for me, and I can try to make money off of views on here. So if you relate to me, you can just watch these videos. I get qualified views, and then I'll make a couple cents, and I can make micropayments onto my credit card with that money to help out my husband, because he's already working really hard. And I think that's it. The question that I want to ask you is, did you grow up with parents in debt? I did. I'm curious if you're in debt. Were your parents also in debt? And I'll see you in my next one.
We're not just broke, we're literally drowning. On paper, we're fine. The bills are paid, we're not missing meals, we're not behind. But mentally, emotionally, it feels like we're constantly treading water. Every month is the same cycle. Payments, balances, interest, and seems like we're never moving forward. The hard part isn't the numbers, it's the weight of carrying it quietly. The stress, the guilt, the we should be farther along thoughts. That's why we decided to stop pretending like it was heavy and start doing something about it. This journey isn't just about paying off debt, but it's about getting our peace back and finally feeling like we can breathe again. If you're in this season too, follow along while we figure everything out one step at a time.
Being drowned in debt, is it a good thing or a bad thing? Because why do people get in debt? To pay for their bills, to get the things that they want, to travel, to buy things that they need or want. So let's just say you were to die next month. If you knew that you're gonna die next month, wouldn't you try to get in debt? Wouldn't you try to get as much money from somewhere so you can enjoy your life? Is it a glitch in the system? Is it like a loophole to get in debt so that way, who knows? You know, sometimes some people consider debt as a good thing because you can start off a business, but how do you use debt? How do you use the money that you borrow? That is the real question. Is it going to benefit you in the long run, or is it just something temporary? Is it just something you would spend towards unnecessary things? Because me, if I were to die like next month, of course I'm gonna try to get as much money as I could, travel the world, visit my relatives, and do all kinds of shit, right? But if I were to borrow someone's money and I know I'm gonna live for a long time, I'm gonna use it wisely. But you know, I'm not in any debt. You know, I'm living a debt-free life, and I'm thankful, but I don't want to be in debt, because being in debt is a headache. It's like a thing that it's always behind you, like a shadow. And student loans, I don't think that's something you can file bankruptcy on. So you gotta be careful with that, because it's a big trap. Student loans. Thankfully, I never had a student loan. But yeah, having debt it could be drowning, but it could also be beneficial.
I have a total of 6 credit card accounts that I need to pay off, and starting from smallest to biggest, the first one is my Saver One Capital One card. On that one, I owe $461.29. My Freedom card, I owe $1,995.86. On my Capital One card, I owe $4,293.07. On my Best Buy card, I owe $5,708.64. My Chase credit card, I owe $6,702.66. On my Discover card, which is the last card, the biggest one, I owe $10,927.42. This is a lot of credit card debt to have at the age of 25, and I do not recommend it to anybody in their 20s to do this. However, I could either sit down and beat myself up and hate myself every single day for the decisions that I made in the past 5 years, or I could get up and make something out of this. That's my goal with this TikTok account. I want to hold myself accountable to pay this debt off And I want to serve as an encouragement to others that are on the same boat as I am. Even if you're not in any credit card debt, let this be your reminder to be smart with your money, to make sure that you know where your money is going every single paycheck. Do not let your emotions lead to carelessly spending your money, which is something that I did for several years. I'm fixing it now, I'm taking action, and that's all that matters. I no longer feel embarrassed about the amount of credit card debt that I have. I don't feel ashamed. I just see this as a number. I know that other people have much more credit card debt than I do, and they seem to be fine, so I know that I'm going to be okay. All I ask is that you guys support me on this journey to paying off my debt. If you're on a debt payoff journey as well, let's do this together and let's become debt free. I am tired of seeing these numbers. For a long time, I actually ignored them. I'm facing my debt all over again, and I'm going to pay it off in 2026.
Pretty much drowning in debt. I'm 27 years old, and I got about $350,000 in my house that I owe, and about $120,000 in 8 different accounts that I'm owing. And I'm just kind of trying to figure out what the best route is. I have a 401k loan. I have doctor bills. I owe $8,000 to IRS. I have 2 personal loans, 1 auto loan, 1 travel trailer loan, and then $20,000 on a credit card.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So how did you get here, Michael? What's kind of the backstory? What's caused all this?
I think previously I didn't make much money, and then I got a job where I started making more money. So I just started spending more, and then I think it became a habit. And then I started, trying to pay off my debt. So I started consolidating debt with a loan, paying that off, or not paying it off. I'd consolidate it and then rack up all my credit cards and, finance more stuff. And then I consolidated again. And I probably did that 2 or 3 times. But now I'm right at the edge, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're bumping, $500,000 in debt, including a mortgage. But the consumer debt is what I want to talk to you about first and foremost. Because this is where, are you behind on payments?
No, I've been making payments, and I've tried, I'm pretty much minimum in all my payments other than 1 loan, which I was doing the snowball before, and then I pretty much fell off of that. And I'm at a point where I'm just kind of like maxing out.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out where's the basic beginning first steps
are of this. Okay.
That should be taken.
What kind of career are you in now? How much are you making?
I'm in energy and utilities I'm a lineman, so I'm probably, it kind of floats depending on overtime, but the last 2 years I made
got $87,000 of student loans, and now the government is like, pay up, no mercy, no support. This country sets us up for failure. They handed out student loans to 18-year-olds with no real world guidance, and now they're shocked that we're drowning. And we even talk about the interest, because my interest rate is about 6% on my student loans. That's after I consolidated them. It used to be 6.5%. My $87,000 used to be about $65,000. With the way that interest is on my student loans, it is growing faster than I can even pay it off. And now they're gonna garnish wages, wreck us, and punish us while refusing to cap interest rates or fix the system. It's not justice, it's exploitation.
Watching the person you love push through pain just to provide, it does something to you. You're new here, my name is Melanie. I am a 25-year-old stay-at-home mom, and we are in a lot of debt, okay? This is the one that we're focusing on with TikTok. We lost our food stamps recently, so now my husband is having to figure out how to make up for that income that we lost. My husband is overworking his body so much to the point that his knees and his back is literally hurting all the fucking time. Being a pharmacy technician, all that I think of is what medication can we get you to help you, but everything has to to be prescribed, so we don't have health insurance to get those medications. Trying to find ways to cut expenses in places. I'm trying to budget everything, but seeing my husband like that, I just wish I could do more. Sometimes people are gonna come for me and they're gonna be like, Melanie, that's what he has to do. That's his job. He's the provider, but he's overworking himself. Like, I'm telling you, he is overworking his body. Manifesting it, we will be able to take some load off of his shoulders. We're gonna pay off my debt, and we're going to at least pay half of my car payment so that he can take a breather. He's always been strong for us. Now it's my turn. Now it's my turn. I need to give him a break. See how long it takes us to pay off this debt. Let me know down below your thoughts, your opinions, positive, negative. I don't care, but let's boost this video.
I just cannot spend another year of my life in debt. I am just so ashamed of my financial situation. I've kind of like buried my head in the sand and ignored it. I never like really tallied it up to a total number of how much I'm actually in debt until now. I was scared. I didn't want to know the truth. And I've gotten to that point now where I just cannot ignore it any longer. It has been weighing on me constantly. So I'm giving myself until my birthday in 2026, which is 107 days away, to pay off $28,000 of debt. This is only my credit card debt. That is not including my student loans and the loan that I have for a home repair. I know it may seem crazy, $28,000 of debt in like basically 100 days, but I have to try, and I'm sharing it with you guys to hold myself accountable. I've seen so many people on TikTok, especially in the debt payoff community, putting their life on display, and it's so inspiring to see their progress. So I decided to join in and start my own micropayment series. This is going to be completely self-funded. So I'm going to do 10 cents for each follower, 5 cents for each comment, and then 1 cent for all the rest of the engagement. I also have side hustles that I do in addition to my full-time job. So any money that I get from there will also go directly to my debt after I take out the taxes. I'm posting this on New Year's Eve so that tomorrow on January 1st, I can make my first micropayment and start off the year on the right foot. For my question of the day, since it is New Year's Eve, I want to know if you have any 2026 resolutions, or if you don't have any, do you believe in setting resolutions? I'm kind of somewhere in the middle where I feel like you shouldn't just make resolutions in the beginning of the year and hope for the best. But I also see how it is like a fresh start to start brand new in the new year. So I could see that aspect as well, but I would love to know your thoughts, what you think, and I will see you tomorrow to make our first micropayment together.
$7,000 in credit card debt is what I've gotten myself into over the last several years. And I think to myself each month that I open up my credit card statements, how the heck did I get here? How the heck am I going to be able to pay off all this debt in a short amount of time that I want to be able to pay it off? Because really, I've been in credit card debt for, I couldn't even tell you how long. And with the job that I'm currently at, there's no way that I'm going to be able to pay all that off just by working 40 hours a week, because I have other expenses. I have to be able to keep a roof over our head and food on the table. So I finally found a system that will bring in $423 days plus additional $100 passive income to be able to help me pay off that credit card debt faster than I've ever imagined. Because again, simply with my full-time job, it wasn't going to do it. I had to make a change. I had to do something that absolutely scared the crap out of me, because otherwise I was just going to continue to dig myself in a deeper hole that I did not want to get into. So, you know, there have been other people in this amazing community that have been able to walk away from their 8 to 5, that have simply just been able to make an additional income to provide more for their families, to be able to pay off the debt that they've been in for far so long. So if this is something that you have been looking into to be able to earn additional income for your family, let me know in the comments. Drop a 1 and I will show you how I got started.
So back in college, I was speaking with my college advisor, and we were talking about how much people make and careers and stuff like that. I asked him how much did he have in student loan debt, or if he ever had a student loan debt. And he told me that he owes $100,000 in student loan debt to this day, and he's 50 years old. Could you imagine that? And I was shocked, because as an advisor, I mean, you make pretty good money. He has a master's degree, but because I keep seeing him taking the bus. I don't think he has a car, but to have $100,000 in student loan debt at your age, 50 years old, it's kind of sad, because I don't know, it's kind of hard to hear that coming from someone who is an advisor, who is well respected. I don't know, like, it's like a money trap people get into. And student loans is something you cannot file bankruptcy, from what I've heard. I'm just like, wow, I'm not gonna try to get into any debt, sir.
I can't find the comment so that I can pin it on this post, but somebody basically commented on my first post talking about all my debt, and all they said was, Jesus, how did you get in so much debt? And I thought it was funny, so I'm gonna share while my dog Hank sits in the background. If you saw my first post, I am in about $230,000 worth of debt, so I figured I'd break down where that debt comes from. Number one, I have a mortgage. I have a home. I don't actually see how much is left on that, but it's about $100,000 of that is what is left on my home. Student loans are about $60,000 of that. It took me 7.5 years to get my bachelor's degree because I was working full-time, and that means a lot more tuition. I did do a adult learners program so that I could go at night and on the weekends. I could share more about that if anybody needs to know, but it did rack up $62,000 worth of debt. And those payments haven't started yet, so I am not working on that debt. On my credit cards, I have $8,540. $1,700 of that is my Home Depot credit card, which I used to get a riding lawnmower when my boyfriend was deployed, because it was taking me 2-3 hours to push mow in my yard because I had to go, I have hills, and it was difficult for me to do it on my own, and it was something that he and I always, we split the responsibility, and I couldn't keep up with it on my own anymore, so I got a riding lawnmower. My regular bank card has $600 on it. That's because I bought some concert tickets that aren't until next year. I do plan on selling those tickets. I bought 4 and I only need 2. And I do have somebody who's more than likely going to buy it. And they were more expensive because it is Morgan Wallen, which is not somebody that I would typically support. But I just kind of saw that he was going to be somewhere near me, and I thought I would buy the tickets. My American Express is $1,898. These are from December 13th when I post these, so these numbers are a little bit old. But my American Express, I think, is mostly from house expenses. I did open it up as a debt transfer back in my early 20s. I had a roommate. The situation got bad and I had to leave pretty quickly, and then he sued me for leaving in the middle of the lease, and I had to pay a lot of moving expenses. I had to pay down payment, things like that, so I did have to put some things on my credit cards that I'm still paying off 10 years later because of interest rates and not putting them, making that a huge priority. And then my Capital One card, this one is my biggest credit card. I have over $4,000 on that. I'd say the biggest thing that I have put on my Capital One card are concert tickets to Taylor Swift. I bought 4 tickets. I had 2 people pay me back, and I did not pay off my credit card. One person paid me back about half of her ticket, and I just never really paid it off, which was pretty dumb, but it was an expense that I knew I was going to spend. The other thing is my house is heated with oil, and it costs anywhere from $900 to $1,500 to fill it up, and it only lasts a couple of months, and for some reason I'm never quite prepared for that when that comes around, so that has gone on my credit card a couple of times. I'll pay $1,000 and then I'll take about $500 and pay a chunk towards it, but I never actually pay it off. And then the rest of the debt, I co-signed on my partner's truck, So that's a huge chunk of debt. And then my car also has a payment. So there's about $30,000 left on each vehicle. So about $60,000 there. So I don't think it's anything too crazy. Concert tickets have been more expensive than I had hoped, but I've only done that a couple of times. It's not something that I've been doing for years. It's just a couple bigger concerts I wanted to go to. Outside of that, it's not really shopping or anything really fun. No electronics. It's just normal life expenses that end up going on credit cards and not getting paid off. So I hope that makes you feel better about your debt, or I hope it scares you a little bit if you're younger and you just got your first credit card. Don't be like me. It took me years to start racking up debt on my credit cards. I used to pay them off every month. I was awesome about it when I was in my early 20s, and then life happens. You get a house, you get dogs, you get expenses that come in faster than they can come out. So hope that helps. Sorry this video was a little bit longer than usual.
I debated posting this, but even if it helps one person, then it was worth it. Do you ever feel like life just keeps coming at you again and again and again? I don't see myself as a negative person, but sometimes it just becomes too much. I work my ass off doing long shifts in the hospital. I'm a single parent. I come home, I have to do everything. I have to cook, I have to clean, do all the laundry. I'm struggling to pay the bills because Florida doesn't pay shit in healthcare, especially as a rad tech. Like, I'm actually drowning. Then the cat gets diabetes 2 months ago, which cost me $6,000. The dog's sick now. And then just this week, I found out I have a tumor in my breast. And it's just all so much. It's like, how much can a person take? But I keep telling myself, you still have to try to find the beauty in life. You have to find something to keep you going. For me, that is my son. But I know he'll grow up soon and he'll move on and have his own life. So here I am trying to build a platform on TikTok. I'm trying to rock TikTok shop or build some kind of side business because I'm just so fed up of living this endless cycle of being strapped for cash, of living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to give my son the life that he deserves. And that's what fuels me to keep going. I even dragged my ass through X-ray school as a single parent, and it was the hardest thing I ever did. But even though I'm drowning in debt, I will do everything in my power to keep going and build an amazing life for my son and I. And that's what I hold on to. So on days like this, when you just feel like saying, fuck this, you gotta dig deep and find your why. Remember your why.
But I have been financially not doing great. I am a nurse. Even though I am a nurse and I make good money, I don't have money, which is the sad part because of the choices that I've made still currently and the choices that I've made like previously, like from a couple of years. I am in credit card debt, and it's this unhealthy cycle that I have been putting myself into, and this just relationship with money has just never been something that I was talked about. Lifestyle creep is definitely a thing, and especially when you are trying to make a brand for yourself, when you're aspiring to do something that you want to do, and content creation has been something that I've always wanted to do. Being a YouTuber has always been something I want to do. I've always just wanted to be on camera. I've always just wanted to make a name for myself, whether it be like through content creation, being a YouTuber, being an entrepreneur, like whatever it may be. I always felt like I was meant to do something other than nursing. And so I think for years I have been continuously like, going with the trends and like, buying whatever everyone else buys so that like I can post about it and like, be seen. But then I get caught up with imposter syndrome of not being enough. In order for me to become someone, I guess I was influenced by everyone else around me. So if I bought the next best thing, or if I like looked a certain way by buying these clothes, then I was gonna make an image, a brand for myself. And that turned into like so many like dumb purchases like along the way that I'm like literally paying for now. And don't get me wrong, I have been trying to get myself together when it comes to my finances, because obviously like I have money to pay my bills. I have money to like pay down the minimums on my credit cards. But a lot of the times I don't take into account like, money like for myself and money to, you know, just enjoy life. And most of the time like I'm struggling to even do that. So I think I've reached my breaking point. Enough is enough. Like living paycheck to paycheck, living with like the credit card debt and like the afterpays and everything, like I'm done. Like I'm so done. I want to be financially free. Like I don't want to have to worry about like, you know, if I'm gonna be able to eat. I just don't want to be in this cycle anymore, because it's like I want to travel, I want to buy a house, I want to get married, like all of these things. Like it's just like it's not possible until I take this step of paying off my debt. And not just paying off my debt, but like being financially literate and just understanding you can't always have your wants. You have to prioritize like your needs. And sometimes like I rationalize like my needs, my wants, to make them seem like they're needs. And I just need to get out of this toxic like mindset. Like it sucks. And I'm not making this an excuse, but I guess like impulsivity and like shopping addiction is part of ADHD. And sometimes I hate it. Like sometimes I like get mad at myself for having this ADHD and is the reason why I'm in this situation. But at the same time, it's like I need to remember, what can I do now to just like get myself out of this hole. So the reason I'm crying on the internet is to show people that like seriously, like do not like, I understand that, you know, I'm trying to be an influencer, I'm trying to be a content creator, and that goes with like promoting products, but like literally live within your means and only buy like if you have the money for it. Stop Klarnaing, stop affirming, stop afterpaying, like stop just swiping the credit card, because like yeah, it may be fun like in the moment, but literally you will regret it if that stuff like just racks up and it's like years down the line and you're still paying for that purse that you bought like 4 years ago. Life is too freaking short for us to be paying money on stuff that we bought like a couple years ago. Life is too short for us to be paying for materialistic things. Instead, we should be paying for experiences, for like adventures and whatever it may be, like for new life like chapters. And I don't know, buying the next best thing is not worth your mental health. Buying the next best thing is not worth the emotional and financial burden that you're going to experience if you can't pay it off right away. If you're watching this and you're also in the same boat, like you are not alone. This stuff is hard to navigate, and not a lot of people like talk about the realness about being in credit card debt or like even student loans. Like I don't even want to think about like the student loans that I have and like my car loan. Like that's another thing in itself. But if you're watching this all the way through, the one thing that I can say is that if you're going into 2025 with debt, specifically credit card debt, please make a plan to like get out of it, because I know I am, because I can't do it anymore. It's not cute anymore to just put it on the credit card or like I'll do some installment payments. It's not cute anymore. You're gonna continue these habits, and it's gonna take you so much longer to, one, pay for it, but two, unlearn those habits of impulse spending.